Okay, so let's get started. I have with me on screen Abhinav and Ishwar from GA Management Consultants, and we'll talk about more about GA Management Consultants as we go along. So today's roadmap or today's agenda, why we are here, is to discuss AI for finance and FP&A. So that is going to be our topic for today. And Abhinav will get us started with CFO's office AI vision, or what are CFOs looking for while they are looking to implement AI for the future. So that is going to be our first topic, followed by we'll talk about some use cases in AI, and Ishwar is going to show us some AI use cases by sharing a screen. So that is going to be one of the important or one of the things that you should watch out for. We'll go back once we see some use cases. We'll go back on a framework that GA Management Consultants has developed on how should finance teams or how should senior finance professionals should look to move or should look to implement AI in their workflow. So that is going to be the agenda for today, and then we will take questions for sure. So what I would recommend is, if a question comes to your mind, just put it in the chat box, or else you might forget. So just put your question in the chat box, and when we come to the last 20 minutes or last 15 minutes, we will take all the questions one by one. Okay, so let's get started. Before we get started, I'll just quickly introduce FP&A Professionals Institute. So I am Asif Masani. I am the co-founder and lead faculty at FP&A Professionals Institute. So me and Dhaval started this back in 2022, and it was known as FP&A Professionals back then. So Dhaval started training in 2018, and his course FP&A Foundations is one of the most popular courses on FP&A on Udemy. I wrote my first book in 2022, which is all about FP&A. I don't know if you see this. So this was the first book I wrote in 2022, which was on FP&A. It has sold more than 2,000 plus copies by now. And that's the time when we decided, me and Dhaval, to come together and start the FP&A masterclass, which is training, life coaching on FP&A, very practical, and using case studies, examples from real world scenarios. So happy to share that we've completed about 13 batches. In fact, we concluded the 13th batch 2 weeks back, and now starting the 14th batch of FP&A Masterclass. 2023, I went into this full time. So November, December last year, I quit my role. I mean, quit my full time job, and we went into creating FP&A Professionals Institute. So FP&A Professionals, which was a blog, became FP&A Professionals Institute in 2023. And we launched a bunch of other trainings on financial modeling, 6 month in-depth certification on CDFPA. I see some of you who are a part of CGFPA family here, so welcome. And also today we are going to talk about the most newest program to our portfolio, which is AI for finance and FP&A. So more about AI for finance and FP&A later today. So that's a little bit about FP&A Professional Institute. So over the last 4 years, we've trained more than 3,000 students across these various programs that you see on the screen. Okay, and happy to share that we have now collaborated and partnered with GA Management Consultants. We have partners from GA Management Consultants and representatives from GA Management Consultants here on the screen. And I'll let them introduce themselves. But before that, we have been knowing each other for about a year now, and they have helped me a lot, us a lot, especially in the book that you see. So Gaurav and Abhinav has contributed to that book as well, which is From Accounting to FP&A, which is my latest book, which was launched a couple of months back. So thank you so much. And with that, I will let Abhinav and team take over and introduce themselves.
Thank you, Asif, for the introduction. And I just want to quickly check whether I am audible. I just switched my, headphones. So
We can hear you loudly. Abhinav, we can hear you loudly.
perfect, perfect. Thanks, Asif. So I would quickly introduce everyone about GA Management Consultants. So this was the firm that me and Gaurav started back in 2022 with an idea to really, work in FP&A and solve a lot of complex finance problems using automation. So most of the data preparation steps that goes into preparing any FP&A deliverable. So we started with that, identifying how that can be improved, creating frameworks for CFOs on better data management, data governance. And that is something we totally felt in our full-time jobs. Me, Gaurav, Ishwar, working on routine, repetitive tasks does not add any value for finance team. So it started with that idea, how we can save time for finance teams, and that is where me, Ishwar, Gaurav collaborated. Me and Gaurav both are chartered accountants, having a similar background in consulting over 10 years. Ishwar is a data scientist and a Microsoft certified AI guy. He has been a very important pillar of GA management consultant in terms of all the technology related stuff we have been doing since last 2 years. So happy to be associated with Asif and share our knowledge and share our perspectives, because we have been working from very initial days on AI, data science, ML, and integrating and marrying it with FP&A. So looking forward to this session.
Thank you so much, Abhinav. And what I'll do is I'll quickly stop sharing my screen. I'll let you take this session forward. So go ahead and uh, you can share your screen and go with the session.
Can you see my screen? Just wanted to. So thank you, Asif, for explaining the roadmap. So I will quickly start with the CFO AI vision. And before discussing about the CFO AI vision, I would like to discuss about typically what are the requirements and considerations or the need statement why CFOs have been started looking for AI tools, a lot of stuff, related to automation. And recently, based on our experience talking to multiple CFOs across different geographies, these are some of the things we have consolidated and we would like to share it. So, first thing that we observe that comes on top of our list is there is a need for preparation of a granular operational data beyond financial summaries. Every month, while we are, preparing our management report, after the books are closed, typically, we are focusing on financial data, and for marrying the financial and operational data it takes a lot of time and effort, because we don't have the systems, we don't have the control on how these two data sets are correlated, what is the real sensitivity, how the change in operational data impacts the financial data, and vice versa. So typically we felt in most of the companies, be it small, be it large, there is a need to prepare granular operational data, and it has to be periodic. And the way the world is going, people are even looking for real time summaries that typically we lack. Even most of the companies are again focused on doing backward looking analysis, or till the time they create something insightful, the time to take decision goes fast. So one of the important problem statements is definitely need for a granular operational data. The other area wherein we felt CFOs are lacking or the finance teams are lacking is the a robust predictive analytics framework. People typically use forecasting models, but the controls on that financial models and the forecasting models, the reasoning behind predictions are something that is very difficult, because if you have to analyze large data sets, historical data sets, imagine you are being hired as an FP&A consultant for a company that has 20 years of historical data, and they don't have any predictive analytics framework. So if you have to really get it started, so you have to really build a framework on how you can really analyze the historical data, not historical data, but the need, the business, the present need of the the outlook of the CFOs, the business outlook, how what kind of assumptions are used currently, and how the future turn of events may impact. So capturing assumptions, generating business assumptions based on existing financial operational data, doing that kind of a correlation is very important and primitive if we have to build a good predictive analytical framework. So This is something we realized when we surveyed a lot of CFO offices, that predictive analytics is one thing wherein most of the companies struggle with, and that is one area wherein they are trying to evaluate whether any kind of an AI tool can solve that for them. The third thing that I have already covered was non-financial metrics. Non-financial metrics is very important these days, because uh, the data points are very primitive. Like, people talk these days about how the business is impacting the overall. There is ESG standards that are coming, whether we are complying to that. There are a lot of other happenings that are happening across the globe, how those geopolitical kind of scenario impacts business. Then there is a lot of data that is being captured day on day basis, like a sales data or a customer demographics data, on how those kind of financial, non-financial metrics can be viewed and correlated in terms of taking insights, driving strategies, and taking decisions. So we have personally worked on different kinds of models wherein people are asking us to build a customer segmentation model, identifying the characteristics of customers so that they can build targeted marketing campaigns, predict the churn, like whether customer will leave the product, or what are the chances, what is the probability score. So those kind of non-financial metrics are very important for CFOs or for the decision makers to look at for taking decisions. The other thing is definitely need for comprehensive planning tools. These days, you will observe a lot of FP&A tools, finance tools are coming, right? And one thing that needs to be assessed while we are evaluating any financial planning tool or a finance tool is the comprehensiveness. It is an entire life cycle. It is not that it is solving one use case, two use case, but ability to start from very scratch, ability to read the source systems, ability to build insights from source systems, flexibility of change, flexibility of inputs, creating allocations, creating drivers, how anomalies can be detected. So those that is definitely a need. People these days want a very robust reporting and planning framework wherein these things are considerations, because uh, earlier what used to happen, here and there used to be a tool which claims to be a good budgeting tool, but at end of the day it was not able to solve the needs that business had, because business these days are very dynamic and models needs to be adjusted every month, every quarter, depending upon the frequency. So definitely, there is a need for a comprehensive planning tool. Real-time insights is definitely one thing, because traditionally, once your books are closed, preparing an FP&A report or a finance report used to take another 4 or 5 days, and taking decisions, when you are already past 20, 25 days post your month close, does not make any sense, because we have to take decisions in time if we have to really, do something that can drive strategic value for the business. So real-time insights is definitely one area wherein CFOs are exploring to really control the time that is being used in terms of data preparation, data governance, how that time can be reduced so that all the deliverables can be produced real time with a proper visibility to every stakeholder, so that corrective decisions, active decisions can be taken. And it is not only about FP&A. It is something, CFO has a lot of other responsibilities, be it audit, accounting, although it is a subject of debate. A lot of people will say that it comes under controller functions, but at end of the day, it comes under one single umbrella. Like, CFO is answerable for each and everything. And the worst part is that today CFOs are really spending most of their time in getting a control on the data rather than focusing on strategic priorities, strategic value, investment decisions. So they are spending most of the time in managing different functions, and the most of the time is definitely around this data management. That is something our experience, and definitely there is a need, not only on FP&A side, but even different functions, how AI can be leveraged and used across different enterprise. Integration is definitely one of the solution, because in organization there could be different systems for different functions. You may have one ERP, but FP&A must be happening on Excel or any other tool. Then you have your CRM tools. So a lot of data resides on different systems, and integrating, building single source of truth is also very important if you want to do a downstream analytics, because that is one area. Because if you are relying, for example, only on ERP for preparation of report, but what if that ERP system does not ties up with any other system, that is already in place. So creating that source of truth is also very important as your organization grows and evolves, and there are a lot of departments that works together, and a lot of coordination is required. So now I will be quickly showing you, the recommended or a AI vision chart that GA management consultants has built. Depending upon how it can be leveraged, it is something you can really consider. It is something, depends upon company to company where they are in their AI journey. But we really believe that this kind of a vision is something most of the CFOs will definitely try to look at. So first thing is definitely, understanding all your source systems, where your data resides, be it online, be it offline, understanding the structured, unstructured, all different types of data dimensions. Once you have that control on data sources, the important part will be to build a data integrity layer, because data integrity layer is, has to do a lot of things. That includes uh, doing all the error checks, building correlations across different systems, checking for completeness, duplicates, anomalies, reconciliations. And that is what we call a CFO data mart. CFO data mart is one single source of truth, wherein all the data from multiple source systems can be stored, can be validated via data integrity layer. And that is where AI can be used to trigger alerts, notifications. For example, if there is a reconciliation failure, right? Your data of source system one does not reconciles with the source system two. So auto alerts, auto emails can be triggered using AI. And even you can use AI to interact with such kind of a data mart via natural language. So that is what CFOs are exploring. Like, for example, if they want to really query a database, how easy it is for them. Can they do it via entering a prompt? That is, most of you might be using already a chat GPT, but chat GPT is not on an organization database. So definitely on CFO data mart, data integrity layer, there are definitely talks on how it can be used in terms of better usability, to understand their data more and do downstream analytics. So once you have the refined data, it can be used enterprise wide. As I was telling in my last slide, it can be used in different analysis, be it CFO intelligence, FP&A, building external reports, management reports, investor communications, doing a segment, Pareto, trend analysis, doing different functions across treasury, risk management, payroll. So there are a lot of use cases, and maybe Ishwar will explain that in detail in the next slide. But again, the thought is that once you have the refined data, you can use it for different CFO functions. And I have given certain examples on how we can use AI. So AI can be used in terms of, creating real-time insights from a refined data. Predictive models can be built. Assumptions can be auto-generated, because once you have the refined data in place, AI can really query and work on large data sets in detecting patterns. Once the patterns are created, assumptions can be derived, assumptions can be created, and that can be leveraged in all your downstream analytics. Risk agents, compliance agent, you can do a quick check on your For example, if you want to reconcile contractual records with transactional records, you can use AI to do a quick type of a check and have that properly understood, like how it varies, whether we are complying with contractual payment terms or not. So these are a lot of different examples, and I hope once Ishwar will give you the walkthrough, it will start making more sense. So now I would hand it over to Ishwar to explain GenAI use cases in FP&A, followed up by a demo.
Hi everyone. Am I audible?
Hi, sure. Yes, we
Yeah.
can hear you. Can hear you loudly. Right.
Thanks, Asif, and thanks, Arvino, for starting this. So, when it comes to AI and use cases in FP&A, an FP&A person on a daily basis would work on a lot of different kind of reportings, from reconciliations, income statements, or creation of dashboards. As also, and one more thing about the predictive budget forecasting, predictive analytics, right? So, and FP&A person would require like a lot of time to create all those things. But if we start utilizing the AI into our daily tasks, how it can help to reduce the time, or how it can generate insights or the patterns that uh, AI can identify, and what are the current tools available in the market that an FP&A person can use. So we'll discuss about all those things. So first of all, what is an AI? So AI is basically making a system mimic like a human. So any mission that you make to mimic like a human, like whatever the human task, if a machine can be able to do it the using a program or mathematical model, then it's called an artificial intelligence. But in general, there are a lot of things under artificial intelligence which we need to understand. There is a machine learning, neural networks, generative models. So what are those? Like machine learning are those models where it learns the historical data and identify the patterns and use those identified patterns to predict for the future. And similarly, what is neural networks? So neural networks are the networks where it is quite a little bit in depth to machine learning, where instead of using learning patterns from the data using a mathematical model, it uses something called neurons. So how this neuron is defined, how these convolutional neurons are defined. So we will, these are defined based on the type of data or the type of use case we are working on. And generative AI models. So what are these generative? Generative AI is nothing but if you are able to generate by single prompt, hey, please take me give a itinerary to an Agra, or like if you just type, you get a itinerary to Agra from Delhi to Agra easily. So how these are possible? Because these are trained on large amounts of data, and those are available to end users to via API or like an applications built by some other companies. So where they can make use of these tools. So I'll just quickly show you two use cases. One is regarding the predictive analytics or the forecast using the time GPT, and another is like reconciliation application, which is built by Microsoft. Uh, so I'll just share my.
Sure, sure. In the meanwhile, I see a couple of questions in the chat box. So could we have the slides or could we have the recording? So yes, both slides and recordings will be shared with you after the presentation. So don't worry about noting down or uh, memorizing anything. But the slides and presentations and everything will be shared with you later on. Yes, we can see your screen.
So when we are discussing about the CFO data mart, whenever we have data, like, so there are two things. Do we need to use a pre-trained model or do we need to develop our own model? So like if we have to, as a FP&A person, if you have to develop a model from the scratch, or if you have to develop, then a data science person would require as a part of your team. But let's say you want to make use of already developed models by other companies or like industries. So you can just need to take that model as an API and integrate into your workflow. So one of the model is time GPT one. So what they have done is like they have trained their model on lots of time series data. So for the finance, for the IoT data or the sensor data. So now they are providing this application or this GPT model as an API, and that can be used in our that can be used by anyone. So like I'm just quickly showing you.
So just to add, what we are trying to do here is we are trying to use some historical sales information, and we will upload that historical information in the application in the GPT, and we'll see if it can predict the future forecast, or it can forecast for the next. So if you upload say last few months, will it be able to forecast the next few months?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Ishu.
So this is an application built using this time GPT model, which I've shown. So what it does is like it asks for the input data, whatever we want to predict. I'm providing you a historical sales data, a sample historical sales data, and I am trying to forecast. This is the trend of the data from
Ishu, why
1940.
don't we show them what data actually you uploaded? So just go up and just share the. So this is the data that we uploaded in the Excel. So if you see those 4 columns,
Yeah.
that is what we uploaded.
So like it's a data at the monthly level, how many units of quantity we have sold. And so this is the trend of the original plot, like how the trend is going from 1949 to 1962. And this is a very sample data. So now we can use this data to predict for the future months. So you can select what you want, days, months, as our data is at the monthly level. So we need to select the month, and then you can select how many months you want to forecast for. So I can select 15 or 12, whatever from 1 to 24. And we can also increase this number depending on requirement. And this GPT model forecasts for the future months. So this is what it has forecasted. Now the question comes is like, do we need to use this GPT model which Time GPT has created, or do we need to create our own model? So to start with the AI and exploring, like as a first step, like for an FP&A person, the already pre-trained models would be a best option to start utilizing the AI in your use cases. And one more use case I want to show is like Microsoft the Copilot, which developed by the Microsoft. It has in preview mode right now, but this is going to make a lot of difference in day-to-day life for the lot of tasks. One is for the reconciliation, and another is for the analyzing the variances, how it can be used. So this is right now available at the Excel add-on. So once you log in, once you sign up here into this URL, you can start utilizing this add-on into your Excel and start testing it out. So how it works is basically if you have two data sets. So I have here two data sets. One is relating regarding the trip budget, and one is regarding the bank statement. If I have to do the reconcile, I have to add this Copilot add-on. I need to select these data sets. So first data set is trip budget table, and the second data set is the bank statement table. And I've selected these columns like date, expenditure category, and budget amount from the trip budget, like on what day, what expenditure, and the amount, and the back statement. So what it does is like, once you have these two tables, you can click on next to generate the reconcile report in a seconds. Not only that, it also provides summary of the, so this is the reconcile statement which it generated. And also, it also provides you the summary that can be shared or used as used in your deck. And you can also create this, save this as a PDF. So entire reconciliation is available as a PDF that you can share.
Yeah, so how many of you have done reconciliation in your audit days or accounting internship days? So I wish this was there at that time. I used to spend so much time manually doing this. Bank reconciliation statements back 10 years back. I don't know how long back, but yes.
And also, like we have seen the Time GPT model in a web application, but that is also available as a add-on, like which if you're dealing with less amounts of data and you want to use that as an Excel add-on, but that is also available as Excel add-on. You can use this time GPT more for the forecast and anomaly detection. So you need to select, so right now it has provided multiple models. So the time GPT one is the free model, which anyone can use it out. And then again, we need to select the data and how many months you want to predict, and select the date ranges.
So now, Ishwar, what we are trying to do is we are trying to bring out some anomalies from the data, right?
This is for the forecasting only.
Okay. Okay, but what are we doing? I
So I'm
we
showing here like how to use the same application in the Excel,
Oh, okay, okay. So the one we saw
the web
on
application.
the web, we are just looking at how it looks like in the in with the add-in and the Excel kind
Yes.
of thing.
Yes. So then now the forecast has been generated. Well, how it has been predicted for the values. And we'll also see an quick Excel chart which is created 1 minute.
So just now what we saw was the exact same thing that we saw
Yes, yes,
on the web application just 5-10 minutes back, right? So we
yes,
can also do that in Excel with the Excel add-in is what
yes.
Ishwar is trying to show. Yeah,
And
go ahead, Ishwar.
also this we can also use it for the anomaly detection. Like if you have like a time series data at let's say sensor data where you want to have some alerts that you want to trigger, or like so these anomaly detection can also be used. It finds the patterns where it is anomaly behavior. So these are the two use cases which I thought of showing it.
Thank you so much, Ishwar.
Thank
Yeah, I need to unmute Abhinav. Yeah, Abhinav, go ahead.
Here's my screen now.
Yes, we can see it. Yeah, you can do a slideshow. Yes.
Thank you, Ishwar, for explaining the different use cases. So the idea of showing these two use cases was that how you can use different pre-trained models. And this was one of an example. There are a lot of similar tools. The key to use the tool will depend upon two things. One is that the use case that you are working on. So you will have to really research while you are exploring any model, whether that use case is for your industry or for your kind of a data. Because if you are using any tool for any analysis, it will not make any sense because you are using a pre-trained model. So first thing is definitely while you are evaluating this pre-trained AI models, we need to understand how it has been built, which kind of data models they have trained on, which industries are using it. And once you make any sense that it could be applicable to you, then it is very simple to use. And again, there are multiple options. You know, you can build a web application for using these tools. And the advantage of building a web application is that if you build a application and you already have a data warehouse or a data lake already in your organization, or if there is a source system that has the required infrastructure, so those kind of web applications can be directly connected to your systems using APIs. So those kind of advantages are there if you have to build your own web application. But if you want to really perform any ad hoc analysis on Excel, so a lot of companies have now started offering add-ins. So this was one example, and of course, Microsoft Copilot is also coming and daily introducing a lot of features. So me and Ishwar are closely working with Microsoft people in India, and we believe that in next 6-7 months, they will be launching, something that would be really incredible in terms of reconciliations and audit anomaly detection inside Excel only. But again, it is something we need to assess that how it has to be used, how it has to be really applied, because for using those features, it cannot be used as is. It has to be applied via your models. It has to be trained, and that is definitely we would cover, in our course that we wanted to target today. So definitely, if you are planning a shift to AI-driven finance, there is a need to do a strategic business assessment. As I told, there is a need to identify the use case, deep dive into the business to understand what are those areas wherein there is a potential to use AI. Because whenever you will be trying to understand AI, a fundamental question that a CFO may ask is, what is the investment I am looking at, what is the data security governance risk, what is the ROI over the period of time if we use this AI tool. So definitely you need to understand this AI landscape in detail, how these tools are built, what is the cost, what is the data security governance risk. If you really want to introduce it, what could be the ROI that can you can expect in coming years, coming months. And as I told, in your organization, there could be a structured, unstructured, lot of variations in your data, right? And there has to be some kind of a thought process in building that data validation layer, implementing a single source of truth, building a warehouse that can really consolidate all your different data, multiple ways you can build your data warehouse. People these days are exploring Microsoft Fabric. Traditionally, they were using MS Azure, AWS as well to build their data warehouse. The idea is that how they can really, have a control on both of their structured, unstructured data. And when I say unstructured data refers to, your PDFs, your images, even videos. A lot of people are also investing these days on video analytics. So definitely the step two is to understand the need of a data warehouse and need to build a data validation layer, because as your organization grows, it is very important to understand how data flows in all the entirety. Third is definitely, building reporting and analytics framework. Once you have the refined data on how you can use those, how you can query the data warehouse, how you can do downstream analytics. These days, BI tools like Power BI, Tableau, even Excel can directly be connected to your database, data warehouse, and you can interact very simply. Once your books accounting is closed, it easily can extract data. You just have to hit refresh, and pipelines can be set, scheduled, and you can do a lot of different analysis. One of the examples in Power BI is, Microsoft is also providing co-pilot feature. If you are preparing a dashboard, you can use Copilot to extract insights from the dashboard, like what is really it is something representing. Are there any risk areas, opportunities, or what could be a CFO summary from this dashboard? So that is also something AI is being used in these BI tools itself, different platforms. So definitely, reporting and analytics framework is something needs to be considered. The fourth step is deployment of an AI tool, right? So I suggested two ways on how you can really introduce AI. One is definitely at the data warehousing level. The other is that once you have all your reports, warehousing structure ready, on how it can really be adopted organization wide, because you cannot expect a sales guy to understand these tools. Sales guy will really be very simple, practical, and they have to be, they will ask that, how I can really use, what kind of prompts I can give. Accuracy is also one aspect. This type of AI models needs to be trained. So for example, if you are training any AI model on your data, it has to be an iterative approach. It has to be trained for data, for insights, and gradually your accuracy will get improved. And AI solutions for chatbots, reconciliations, audit anomalies, FP&A is definitely that is people considering and call it as a generative AI too. Generative AI is nothing but how you can easily interact from a layman person on how you can interact with such complex database reports in a very simpler way. But definitely, the need for an AI is far beyond this. People need to really understand even getting a good FP&A tool is also a very significant process improvement. So when we mention AI, AI is definitely not generative AI. It is combination of each and everything. It includes your improvements in your statistical models. If you're using a ML model, if you are using any planning tool, ERP tool, any kind of a tool, how it can be improved, adapted, leveraged to extract insights. And that is where AI fits in. The last step is definitely the need to build up AI-driven CFO summaries, CFO dashboards, because a lot of organizations struggles having a consolidated view. Whenever you will be presenting to the topmost guy in the hierarchy, there is a need to give them a consolidated view. And imagine if that consolidated view can be controlled by a chatbot, wherein in your board meetings or in your presentation meetings, there is not a need of an analyst to explain these dashboards. A CFO or anyone can really deep dive to a root cause analysis, putting simple prompts. So that is where we feel the journey looks like. This is a roadmap that we eventually feel, based on our discussions, will be something how organizations will be planning. And definitely, it is not something very immediate, but it is something on the radar. You will expect a lot of AI driven implementations, a lot of investments to come in coming months, and that is where your role as an FP&A analyst will come in at the very initial stage. So if you understand how these AI tools work, how this landscape looks like, which use cases can be used for different AI, so that will give you an edge in understanding and proper calculation of how it can be utilized, what kind of an ROI an organization can expect. The next topic that I would want to cover is very practical, and this is something a supplement of my previous slide. To get it started, if you want to really start identifying the use case, so you need to understand your organization technology mapping. You need to understand what are the high tech areas wherein AI can be implemented. You have to really go through the ER diagrams, detailed systems to understand and identify the foundation for building a strong AI strategy, because there has to be a strategy. It cannot be something that you are using AI as a point solution. It has to be more thought like a significant process improvement that it can do over a period of time. So for that, understanding systems, surveying the existing usage, how it can be used to mitigate risk, who are the key technology champions, because ultimately it will require a cultural shift and it is dependent on people, right? So you need to identify right set of people, right key tech champions in each department to drive such AI initiatives. Then there will be a need to consult with AI vendors. You have to get that expert opinion to understand, the use cases, the way you feel it can be leveraged. You need to understand, like, if you go for any, what kind of AI tool you can go for. If you go for this tool, what is the kind of investment you are looking at? What is the risk you are looking at? So you need to have that understanding. And there are a lot of consultants that can guide you in helping, in these areas in designing the AI strategy. You will have to definitely create that value proposition to your CFO, your bosses, if you have to really drive this and convince them in terms of strategic decision making. Management skills, as I have told, it will require cultural shift. It will require a lot of people to understand AI, including training, process adjustment. So that is also one area that has to be assessed at an organization and entity level. How much flexibility is there, whether people will be ready to adapt, and it will really help you in creating that implementation strategy so that you don't do for all in the first iteration, and it is gradually adopted in a phase wise manner. And last thing is on the data and privacy. Definitely one area wherein we are asked a lot of questions. Are we exposing our data to any third party? Are we exposing our data? What is the risk of data leakage? So those kind of questions are being asked whenever there is a need to secure the data, to organize the data. And so that is where you need to also keep in mind all the privacy data compliance standards while you are integrating deploying any strategy or a AI solution. So I think this is pretty much, what we wanted to cover. Idea was to give a view on how CFOs are looking at AI tools and how you can really get started in understanding use cases, how you can create a roadmap within your organization, how you can plan that shift. Yeah, Asif, over to you.
Yeah, Abhinav, let me share my screen. So I'll share my screen. So you've done a great job in helping us understand AI in much better way, especially for finance and FP&A. So thank you so much to both of you. Am I showing my screen? Do you see my screen? Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we've looked at a quick demo, right? We have just scratched the surface. So I'm sure most of you will agree that there is a lot more to learn about AI and AI specifically related to finance and FP&A use cases. So it cannot be done in 60 to 90 minutes. So that's why we have come up with a program. So the entire build-up was towards bringing you or showing you the entire program that we have curated in the last 1.5, 2 months. So we have put especially Ishwar, Abhinav, and Gaurav, who's also here from GA Management Consultants. You have put a lot of effort in building this curriculum. So it's a 8 session, 16-hour curriculum where we go into in depth, and they will talk about the curriculum more in detail in the coming slides. But yes. Also, what I feel is this is a topic where it is very difficult for you to learn on your own. Also, although you can do a lot of self-study and you can do a lot of recorded courses also, but having an expert who's practically working in this domain with clients is going to give you a very practical oriented solution or a approach versus what you see as a recorded program or what you see uh, I mean, as a reference material. So there are different ways of learning AI for finance and FP&A. However, what we would recommend is you should make your due diligence and make sure that you go wherever you see there is somebody who's done this practically or who's working on clients practically, and that is where I think this is going to be a good synergy between FP&A Professional Institute and GA Management Consultants. Okay, so that brings us to the introduction of the AI for FP&A and finance program, or AI for finance and FP&A program, which has 5 modules, and it is going to be covered over 16 hours on the weekend. So it will be 8 sessions of 2 hours each on Saturdays and Sundays. And I will ask one of Gaurav or Abhinav to cover the syllabus in detail. So before that, what I will do is I'll just quickly pick a note of, or I'll just let you know what or for whom this program is suitable for. So this program is for you if you are somebody who's been working in finance and FP&A for at least 2 to 3 years, and now either you are a part of any of the teams in your organization, or any of your committees in your team which is evaluating AI and AI use cases. So if that is the case, this program is should be a no-brainer for you, because this is what we will do in this program, which with many use cases that Abhinav and team has identified for finance and FP&A. Also, if you are looking to be ahead in terms of, if you feel okay, this is going to be implemented in your team or in your organization, and we feel that most of the MNCs and big organizations will implement AI solutions in the next 6 to 1 year, 6 months to 1 year. And if you want to stay ahead, and if you want to be a part of that journey where you can tell them, okay, I have this certification, or I have done this upskilling, and I am ready to be a part of this initiative as a representative from your team for implementing these AI tools in your company. So I think those are the kind of people we are looking at. And with that, let what is covered in the what will be covered in the curriculum, I'll let Abhinav cover that in detail. I will unmute Abhinav. So yeah, go ahead, Abhinav.
Course will be, totally practical. It will be practical oriented. 100%, some of the assignments that we have worked in last 12 months. So we have, created demo and training assignments based on that. But the idea is that we'll go step by step. So initial classes would be to get you started on how AI can be leveraged in terms of different functions, getting deep inside into the identification of use case, because whenever you will be using AI, there has to be a use case. So we will definitely share a lot of comprehensive use cases, case studies, wherein you can understand how it was practically used, and different AI tools that are available as an alternative. Because I see one of the question even on the chat, what are the AI tools? So definitely there are thousands of AI tools, but we will provide you a very deep understanding of how use cases can be leveraged for, and how different AI tools can be used initially. The second thing would be to understand the difference between generative AI, machine learning, deep learning, natural language processing, and it will be covered in a very simplistic way, very easy for anyone to understand, because it is very important to understand. A lot of people these days are saying AI, they are implementing AI. But is it really an AI? Is it a robotic process automation? Is it just a process improvement? So we need to really understand while we speak the facts, that what is the difference between all these four things. We will give you practical examples, right? We will show you case studies, and even showcase some of the things that can be solved by all of them. These are different techniques, different algorithms, different ways of operating, but you can generate outputs from all the four things, right? The other thing that we will be covering is on the data privacy, generative AI, applications in finance. So, as I have told, in our webinar today, data privacy, risk, governance, strategy around that is a very important subject these days, because you need to understand, right? These are certain practical questions that will be asked. So we will tell you the best practices. We will guide you through the best practices, how you can use these AI tools in a secured way. What are the best practices of safeguarding the data, and how you can really, protect the data. So those kind of things will be covered in detail in the class, along with lot of different applications. We will give you a lot of examples on how generative AI can be used, wherein you can just prompt, codes can be created very simply, nothing to worry about. You can create a lot of things by writing single prompt. But the important thing is how and where to give such kind of prompts. Where are those applications? How to create that setup? So we will guide you through in detail when we cover generative AI applications in finance. The other topic would be to understand ChatGPT and Copilot, because ChatGPT and Copilot, I can say fundamentally it will be used in every organization. Microsoft's tech stack is used majorly in all the organizations. So you need to really understand and be take that first mover advantage in terms of how Copilot works across different Microsoft applications, and how you can even leverage ChatGPT, because a lot of people even don't know and understand the entire power of ChatGPT. So we will guide you on how you can leverage Chat AI for different FP&A tasks, how you can automate a lot of tasks using ChatGPT. And the last bit that we will be covering is build your own GPTs, and that is where the excitement lies, wherein you will, do a hands-on training on building your own web applications. And then when I say web applications, trust me, we will not teach you any coding. What Ishwar explained you was a time GPT model, right? But if you have to really use it, create a web application out of it, how you can use those frameworks and do a lot of FP&A stuff, be it management reporting, predictive modeling, different types of forecasting models, reconciliations, even do any kind of analytics. So we will be guiding you through on how to really deploy these AI tools in a secured way, while you build your own GPTs. And the last bit would be to give you an understanding of different AI tools that are available in market. So although in our later part we will be focusing on OpenAI GPTs, but there will be more on that. What are the other generative AI tools that are available in the market, and how you can use that? So this is how we have structured this course with an intent to make it as practical as it can be for all the finance people. We understand you all have the finance background. There will be zero coding that will be taught. The idea is that once you complete this course, you have four answers. One is how you can build your strategy, AI strategy, how you can really deploy that, how you can build a strong data governance and a data security framework, how you can calculate, different ROIs, like while you are evaluating an ROI AI tool. And then is the practical implications, how you can use these tools for all your tasks. So that is the intent behind this training module.
Thanks. Thank you so
Yeah,
much,
yeah.
Abhinav. Yeah. So you see the timetable on the screen, which is starting on 14th of September. So there will be 8 sessions, as I already mentioned, and it will be on Saturdays, Sundays. It is 11 a.m. India time, and it will be 16 hours of overall sessions, and we'll also do Q&A at the end of that. So you'll get to implement all of these, and then we'll again do a Q&A session maybe at some point. So this is going to be the structure. Already 10, I think last when I checked, I think 10 or 11 people have already enrolled for this program, and we want to keep the batch size limited so that we can have maximum personal interaction. So we wanted to keep the batch size as 15. So I think there are 4 or 5 seats remaining before we get started on this program this Saturday, which is in 2 days from now. So what I would suggest is if you see value in whatever we presented today, I will share the program link in the chat box, and you can enroll for that. There are only, I think, 4 seats. What I see last from my dashboard is it's only 4 seats that are available. So if you feel you can join this, if you want to join this, you should enroll in the next few hours. Otherwise, we may not be able to guarantee if those 4 seats will be available or not. Can we do this on Friday? Yeah, so a lot of people from Middle East have requested for Friday, Saturday batches. So we are in discussions for that. But it may not happen very soon because these guys are busy. GA management consultants are super busy. So we'll have to find time from the calendar. So it'll happen for sure, but it will not happen very quickly. So it might take a month or two. So we'll do a batch around that time if it works out. How much is the course fee? Yeah, so course fee is the program fee is $347. However, if I mean for the webinar attendees, and it's only for the next few people who joined, which are the 3 or 4 people, the seats remaining, you can use this code AI launch. I think the code will be applicable only for the next 2 participants because we had kept it for I think 5 or 6 participants and 4 have already enrolled. So I think 2 participants you will be able to get the benefit of this AI launch code. And yeah, there are 4 seats, and I think 2 participants will get this early bird discount, which is for the remaining. So I highly recommend if you want to join this, you enroll tonight to get this discount. So I've dropped the page or the course link in the chat box. So I'll again do that, and I'll also mention the code there, which is AI launch. So this code we had created in the first webinar that we did last week, and out of which we had decided, okay, we'll give it to 10 people, and I think out of which 9 have taken the benefit, and only 1 or 2 codes are remaining. So if you are lucky, you may get that uh, benefit as well. So it's the code is AI launch. If you want, you can use that and enroll right away and get that $100 benefit. Okay, so that's all. We'll start. We'll go back and we'll take questions. That brings us to the end of the planned presentation. So what I will do now is I'll stop sharing my screen, and we'll take the presentations. We'll take the questions. I mean, so I see one question. What are the AI tools available for finance people other than Copilot is the question. Abhinav, you want to answer that? I will just unmute you.
I would suggest Ishwar, maybe you can answer
Yes,
this.
yes, yes. So let me just bring Ishwar also on the screen. So there are many tools, right? As Abhinav mentioned, but Ishwar and Abhinav will be the better person to give you the answer. So Ishwar, are you around? Let me just ask Ishwar to unmute. Yeah, Ishwar, we can hear you. Hear you. Go ahead.
So like right now, if you go to the Hugging Face, a lot of people have trained like open source GPT models are available. But if you want to see like which are can be used directly, so some organizations are providing like data rails or Domo. So they are providing the use cases related to finance. So very few in this finance related use cases. So first is Microsoft, which is providing regarding the finance and dashboardings. Now Tableau and Power BI is coming up with the copilots. Tableau has its own way of AI agent, and Power BI is also having a copilot which can be used for any dashboarding purpose, be it finance or marketing or any dashboard it can be. And companies like Data Rails is like this was like a very big company used for the ETL purposes. Now it also bought use case regarding the finance.
Okay. So there is one more question which we can take. Does complex financial models benefit from AI, which are based on numerous inputs, assumptions from business, and no link from historical data?
Okay, so like it depends upon the use case what we are trying to solve. Like let's say if your use case is for the predictive analysis, there are some already pre-trained models which you can use it instead of developing from the scratch. But and if you want to use for the some automation, or if you want to queries and databases, if you don't have an ability to write an SQL query, but you want to fetch some reports from it by a prompt. So those kind of use cases we can do it by the GPT or the AI. But let's say if we have to have a complex, then entire implementation from the scratch would require. We cannot directly use a pre-trained models.
Yeah, I think most models have the ability to give assumptions, right? So more the assumptions, I think better. Less reliance on historical data is always good in general. So yeah, that is going to, yeah, that is, hope that answers your question. I'm just looking at some more questions and just scrolling my chat box. We'll get in touch with you soon. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Zebra BI also has its own AI. So yeah, maybe that is a name I may not have heard, but yeah, a lot of companies are coming up with their own AI. Okay, I don't see any more questions, guys. So if you have more questions, let us know in the chat box. Happy to answer them. If not, thank you so much for joining. And you already have the link and the coupon code. We have like 3 or 4 seats remaining. By the time maybe end of the day, you may see it gone. So make sure that you join as soon as possible if you want to join us this Saturday. And thank you so much again, Abhinav, Ishwar, Gaurav, and the entire GA Management Consulting team for bringing this presentation. And thank you so much. We'll see you again if there are no more questions in one of the next webinar or maybe in the training itself. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. And have a great rest of your evening and rest of your day. Thank you. Bye bye.